you know, I'm a reading teacher, so I like those books. Although I encourage my kids to do digital books and ebooks. Yeah, so I try to pick a quiet section, and here I'm in Books A Million. So today I'm on the hunt looking for a really good book to read. I have a lot of books at home, but I wanted to read something new, something different. So, yeah. So I will say this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, please, doesn't cost you a thing, so you can continue to get more dope content. I hope you can hear me. I'm getting over my ear infection, and I can hear a little bit better out of my left ear, but it was one of those otitis externa. So that's like when your ear canal is all swollen up and got gunk and leaking. It's really gross. But I got a steroid shot, and I've had a couple doses of the antibiotic drops. I have to get 4 drops, so that's been helpful. I feel a lot better. The dizziness is gone, headache gone. So fighting the ear infection like a champ. So I'm a sci-fi fantasy girl, but I have to say my taste in what I read, it like changes all the time, and I never quite read the same. I do read the same, like I'll go through a series and like focus on that. So now I'm over here sci-fi fantasy and graphic novels, and I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm really feeling right now, because I've been watching so much sci-fi and fantasy, and I don't know if I feel like reading it. The Star Wars books are always a really good read because they're way better than the movies, and they do a really good job of filling in the gaps. But what Disney Plus is doing is basically coming up with some of these and turning them into series. So, speaking of Star Wars series, are you watching? Did you watch The Mandalorian? That was really good. The Legends of Luke Skywalker, the manga. I'm not really into manga. My students are. One of my sons is very much into manga. But I'm looking over here. I like young adult stuff. Let's see. This is Glass by Ellen Hopkins. I don't know if you've read any of her books, but her books are basically told in like poems. It's considered young adult fiction, but obviously this is definitely more to high schoolers, because this is really like based on a parent perspective of what it's like living with a child that's a like drug addict. I already read The Fault in Our Stars. I read that a few years ago, but that's not necessarily one I want to read again. But what I'm actually reading right now, but I'm specifically looking for something that I could do like a book review over. But what I'm actually reading right now is a book about crystals and herbs, and like what they do, what they are, what they're made of. I don't want anything inspiration. I know that sounds horrible, but I've been reading a lot of that too. So it's really time for me to read something just for fun. And we do have this book challenge thing going on with our ELA department, which stands for English Language Arts, but within our school system. So I also want to make sure that I pick something that'll work for that. The bucket list. This is in young adult fiction. Becca has cancer. She doesn't know what the outcome of her treatment will be. Alex is Becca's best friend and wants to help. And if the only way she can is by, this is interesting, if the only way she can is by completing Becca's bucket list, and so be it. Now, I'll probably get fired for putting that on my shelf, but that actually sounds pretty good. I have one of those, but I spell it P-H-U-C-K-E-T. Yeah, because that sounds a little bit nicer. What I think I might get back on though, oh, The Warriors. Now, this was a popular series with some of my students. I'm not into cats, so that definitely like is not for me. Wonder. Read this. This is nice. 365 Days of Wonders, Mr. Brown's Precepts. A quote for every day of the year about courage, friendship, and kindness. Okay. This is kind of cool. I might just buy this book just because I like it. Let's see. But I would read that like all at one time. Well, that's how I read most of my books. But let's see. Now, Afterworlds. No. Okay. So I guess, all right. So I don't know if you've heard of Scott Westerfield. Now, I actually read this series starting back in 2011. Yeah, 2011, because several of my students, and at the time I was teaching 7th grade English, which is what they called it in Virginia Beach, and I was like, so how do you like this book? Because I always talk to them about like what they're reading, like, do you like it? What do you like about it? Tell me what's going on. And this is one of my favorite series, and I feel like I'm gonna go on and read this again. And I know my audience is not, they're not kids, and I'm not for the kids in this, but as an adult, I have to tell you that this whole series, it just sounds like a lot like what's going on now, especially when you get to the extras, and when they're talking about like social currency and all of that stuff. That's definitely like what it is right now. Like, that's where we're headed. So that's what's awesome about this series. So if you have any suggestions as to what you want me to read for a book review, make sure that you comment down below. You'll see what I read when I drop it, when I drop my book review, because it's not going to take me long. I'm going to devote like 2 days to reading, because I'm supposed to be resting and drinking water. So don't forget, gotta like. Please comment and definitely subscribe. Feel free to share. Peace.